Where I put Falco? I don't. Um. I feel like he just has to be third just due to matchups. I think he's a hard character to play for sure. Like he's probably very hard to be consistent with to some degree. But just due to the matchups, I think he has to be third because Fox and Marth are probably better. But like I don't think Sheik can be better because Sheik loses to Ice Climbers and Jigglypuff straight up. Right? Like it's not really debatable, like, right? Or at least it's pretty agreed upon that Sheik loses to those characters. Maybe it's by a small amount, but with Falco, it's like, who does he lose to? He just kind of goes even with everyone, right? Like he goes even-ish with Fox, even-ish with Marth, even-ish with Sheik, even-ish with Peach. Beats everyone else straight up. So I think just due to matchups, he kind of has to be. Yeah, I think he can be hard. Those three, like Fox, Falco, and Marth, they all just kind of go even with everyone, or they beat everyone. Well, I guess doesn't Marth lose to someone? I'm trying to remember. I don't know. If Marth loses to someone, it's by a super tiny margin that it's almost even. And then Jigglypuff straight up loses to a lot of characters, right? Like, Jigglypuff straight up loses to Fox. Is that it? No. Yeah, Puff loses to Fox. And then I guess everyone else. Puff goes even or wins, right? I don't know. Marth loses to Sheik. Is that true though? I always heard it was like even. It's just harder for the Marth side, but maybe that in that case, it's like a slight for Sheik maybe. Puff loses to Marth. Okay. Yeah, so I think number 4 and 5 is obviously Puff and Sheik. Because they both only lose to like 2 characters or something. And then Falcon loses to 3 characters. Yeah, I mean, we could just say Fox beats everyone, so it's almost like Fox isn't even like a huge consideration. Okay, Sheik loses to Fox, Puff, Sheik. I mean, not Sheik, Ice Climbers. Okay, so yeah. And Puff Falco, I don't really know. I always heard that was like even-ish. Cheerless video? Well, the problem is I'm not good when it comes to the low tiers, so that's my problem. Just rank the top 8, okay. So, number 5 would be... yeah, I think 5 would be maybe Falco? No. Yeah, 5 would be Sheik or Puff. I don't really know which one to put higher. So 6 would be Falcon, I think. He loses to 3 characters, and I think everyone else is like... he beats or he's like even-ish. I think Marth, Falcon's even-ish. Jigglypuff, Falcon, kinda even-ish. I don't know, it's hard to say. I feel like I would give it to Puff, but it's a weird matchup. It's hard to say, but it's like, even if Puff wins, it's probably, if you play it right, it's probably even-ish.
How do I beat you?
I wish she personally, but I don't know. You can debate both ways. Yeah, that's the problem. I don't have like any hot takes. Like, yeah, I feel like Sheik could have more potential. I see Sheik as a higher potential character, but when I just think of the matchups, I don't really see how she'd necessarily be higher than Puff. I'd have to, I guess maybe you'd have to look at like how hard they beat the other characters. Like, let me think. Okay, so Sheik beats Sheik Falco, Puff Falco, both even-ish. Sheik and Puff both lose pretty hard to Fox. Puff beats Sheik. Sheik versus Peach. Sheik wins, but Puff definitely wins too. That's like historically Peach's hardest matchup. I don't know about these days, but Puff beats Ice Climbers. Sheik loses to Ice Climbers. I think Sheik beats Falcon a little bit harder than Puff, for sure. Sheik beats Yoshi harder. Sheik doesn't beat Pikachu harder, but they both beat Pikachu pretty solidly. I think Sheik beats Samus pretty hard, but Puff also beats Samus. Okay, Sheik does better versus Marth than Jigglypuff. Wait, Puff only like hard loses, I feel like, to Fox and Marth. And then Falco is like even-ish, right? So, like, I feel like Puff hard loses to 2 characters. Oh yeah, Sheik hard loses to 3 characters. Is Ice Climbers a hard win? I think it is, right? I don't know, I've heard different things. Yeah, Sheik hard loses to Puff. Versus some mid and get owned by the top 2. Are they really that hard? I feel like Hungrybox does bad versus some mid tiers just because of like matchup rust and like the matchup being harder. Yeah, Sheik does wreck mid and low tiers though, right? So I see what you're saying. But top tier matchups are definitely more important. I don't know, they're both so even-ish in skill and like character skill. Goes even-ish with the top 3. I mean, I definitely think Sheik pretty clearly loses to Fox. Sheik does good versus Marth. Yeah, I don't know. I would just put him as a tie if I could do that. Yeah, I guess Puff generally, outside of the top 8, she struggles a little bit more. But inside the top 8, she does better. So it's like, I would value the top 8 a little bit more, but I guess it's hard to say. Puff better versus Peach, Pikachu, Ice Climbers. Sheik better versus Marth and Falcon. Yeah. Sheik does pretty good versus Peach and Pika too, just not as hard of a win. Yeah, it's really hard to say. I feel like Sheik probably a higher skill ceiling, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I would just put him as a tie. I don't know if that's against the rules, but it's kind of a tie in my head. I mean, Sheik Jigglypuff is like a losing matchup, but it's like not impossible. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah, I'll just put a tie. And then right next to them, right outside, I would put Falcon, because I think he beats everyone and goes even-ish. He goes even-ish or beats everyone outside of 3 characters. 3 characters he like clearly loses to. And then 6 is Peach, right? I have such a traditional tier list, like nothing crazy about it. I mean, it's Peach or Yoshi, right? Historically, it's Peach. Let me think. Yoshi hard loses to 3 characters. And Peach hard, like, doesn't Peach, like, not barely beat anyone? Peach slightly loses to Falcon. Loses to Fox, even with Falco. Loses to Marth. 6 is Falcon, 7 Peach. Okay, let me go back. So Peach... Does Peach lose to any lower mid tiers? I don't think so, right? Doesn't Link do okay versus Peach? I don't know. I don't think it's relevant. Peach should just beat everyone. Okay, top 8. Oh, Peach hard beats Yoshi, actually. Yoshi hard loses to Sheik. Actually, I don't... I don't know. I've heard Amsa say there's 3 hard losing matchups, but I don't think he said Peach. But Peach seems to clearly beat Yoshi, so I don't know. So Yoshi loses to Peach, Sheik. Fox, and Falcon. Peach loses to Fox, Marth, Sheik. Who else? Jigglypuff. Falcon. How does Yoshi do versus Ice Climbers? I actually have no idea. No clue. Yoshi does alright against Puff and Marth, that's true. Peach is better versus Fox. Probably, yeah. Not as great versus Peach versus Ice as Peach versus Ices. Oh yeah, well definitely not, but... Does Yoshi beat Ice Climbers though? I'm trying to think where Ice Climbers is. See, the problem is, I think... Who does Pikachu beat though? So Pikachu goes even with Marth, loses to Fox. Does Pikachu lose to Falco? I think he does, right? Or is it... It's kind of close though. It's like even or slight lose. Fox Yoshi is like 35... I mean, a lot of people say Fox Peach is 65-35 too, to be honest, so... You could... It could be comparable. I'd say Peach loses... Oh no, Pikachu versus... Then Ices in practice. I have this X Factor. Ice Climbers loses to Fox. Loses to Falco, right? That's not even, right? I feel like I've heard it's even-ish. I'll say Falco probably barely wins. There's no way Ice Climbers beats Falco. It's like even-ish at best. Falco beats Ices. I think 7 and 8 is Peach. I think 7 could be Yoshi, but it could be Peach. Yeah, that's the thing. Marth, yeah. Ices does okay against Marth. Ices does bad versus Peach. Bad versus Fox. Does okay versus Falco. Loses to Falcon. Ice Climbers loses to Puff. Okay, I think Ice Climbers is worse than Peach and Yoshi. But yeah, Ice Climbers do have like an X Factor, and they are a little underdeveloped, so they could go higher. But I think, as of right now, I would probably put them 7. No. I would put them like 9, and Peach and Yoshi are 7, 8. But I don't know what order. I feel like Yoshi loses to 4 characters pretty solidly. I don't know. Amsa's last tier list was like an optimistic one though, where he put a slight loss to Falcon and a slight loss to Sheik, and I think a slight loss to Peach, and then a big loss to Fox. Oh, that's like pretty optimistic. Oh yeah, Ice Climbers loses to a bunch of people. I forget. Samus and Ganon. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I think I would put Peach. Yeah. So Ice Climbers is definitely like 10? Really? I guess. Yeah, because Pikachu beats everyone outside the top 8. Pikachu hard loses to Sheik, Puff. Mainly those two, right? And then everyone else is like okay. Like he goes even with Falcon. I don't know the Yoshi matchup. Does Yoshi beat Pikachu? Pikachu loses to Fox, loses to... Oh yeah, Pikachu loses to Ice Climbers. Oh, it's just like a mess. Wait, how does Pikachu do versus Peach? I forget. It's like okay. Okay, I guess regardless of who is 9, I think it's fair to say Yoshi and Peach are 7 and 8. The order is the debate. I guess let's just focus on them. So 7 is Peach. 7 is Peach. Or Yoshi. Alright, Peach hard loses to Fox. Yoshi hard loses to Fox. Okay. Even. Peach goes even versus Falco. Yoshi goes even-ish versus Falco, right? I think that's fair. So they're even again. Okay, Marth. Peach loses to Marth. Yoshi loses to Marth, but it's arguably even, right? I could see it being kind of even, because I don't see Marth, like, in my head, without looking at the matchup, Marth doesn't have a lot of strong hit moves to break armor, and he doesn't really have multi-hits. So I don't think he really has a lot going for him. Like, Falcon does okay versus Yoshi, not because he has multi-hits, but because he has strong moves. And Fox does good because he's Fox, but he also has Drill. But Marth doesn't have, like, drills or strong moves. Yoshi beats Marth? Okay, so let's say Yoshi... Let's just say Yoshi goes even-ish with Marth. Wins at best. So in that case, Yoshi's in the lead right now. A tiny bit in the lead. Okay, and then who's next? Sheik? Well, they both lose to Sheik, but I would say Yoshi loses harder. Because we see Plut vs. Amsa. So I would say that it's evened up again. So... Is it even evened up? Because they both lose still. Well, Yoshi arguably beats Marth, but Peach definitely doesn't beat Marth. So it's even-ish, maybe slight Yoshi. And then who's next? Falcon. I think Falcon beats Yoshi harder than Peach. Although it's not like a giant different. I don't. Yeah. Okay. So I would just say they're back to even again. Because Falcon beats Yoshi slightly harder than Peach. Oh yeah, Jigglypuff. Yoshi does better versus Jigglypuff. So Yoshi's in the lead again. Peach loses to Jigglypuff. Ice Climbers. Peach destroys Ice Climbers. Yoshi, what? Slightly beats him, maybe? So it's like even again-ish. And then like Ganon and Samus, they both beat... I mean, I've never really seen Samus Yoshi, but I would imagine Yoshi wins. What else is there? Oh, Pikachu. I don't know. Amsa's up on the Ices. I never hear of Amsa losing to Ice Climbers. I mean, there's not a lot right now. Peach is slightly better versus Pika. Okay. And Peach is a little bit better versus Ice Climbers. So I think like... So Peach does better versus Pikachu and Ice Climbers. Yoshi does a tiny bit worse. But still beats them, probably. Peach loses to Falcon a little bit. Yoshi also loses to Falcon, probably slightly more. Yoshi does better versus Puff and versus Marth, which are very important characters. Yoshi probably does like a little bit worse versus Sheik than Peach, but I don't know how big that even still. Maybe it's comparable. I don't. It feels like the top 5, Yoshi's better, but like when you consider the whole top 8, Peach might be better. You'd argue Yoshi does slightly better versus Falco. That one's hard to say. Yeah, you're right. I forgot. Peach against Yoshi himself, Peach wins, so... Yeah, I would give it... I guess I would give it to Peach. I think Peach does good, like, on the lower half of the top 8, and Yoshi does slightly better maybe versus the upper half of the top 8. No, that makes sense. Yoshi literally does worse versus all of them. Yoshi does a little bit worse versus Falcon, a little bit worse versus Pikachu maybe, a little bit worse versus Ice Climbers, a little bit worse versus Sheik. Well, Sheik's the upper half. Yeah, okay. I just think with Yoshi doing a little bit better versus like Marth and Jigglypuff is really powerful because those are the characters you're gonna run into the most. So I would say I would give it to Peach, I think, but it's still debatable. I feel like we don't have like an AMSA level rep for Peach. Like like Armada would be like an AMSA level rep. Oh, if I'm a Peach player in my head and I'm like a god, I'm like an Armada level. I'm gonna beat the Falcos. You're gonna find less Pikachus, less Ice Climbers, less Peaches than you are gonna find like then you are going to find less Sheiks and less Marts. Peach Yoshi is a tie. So the lamest tier list ever. We have a bunch of ties. Like I think maybe Yoshi, like Yoshi does better versus like the most meta relevant characters slightly. So like I feel like that could be an important factor. But I think if all the characters were like almost evenly distributed, then like Peach would probably be the tiniest bit better because she does better versus like the lower level characters, the lower of the top 10. It's like I guess Peach. It's like Sheik and Puff are like even. It's like the character that's better is just like dependent on the bracket, and so is like Peach versus Yoshi. It's like dependent on the bracket. Puff is the most dodge matchup for Peach to win a major. But Yoshi doesn't have as bad a matchup. But the best Fox, Sheik, and Falcon, Peach all give Yoshi big trouble. What do you do if you're making a tier list and the only difference between two characters is the matchups they run into? Like, I guess Peach is slightly better overall, but when you consider like the matchups you're more likely to run into, you could argue Yoshi's a tiny bit better. I would value matchups that are more common at that point. Yeah, me too. So in that case, like, think about the top 5. It's like, well, the problem is Yoshi and Peach both do like pretty similarly bad versus Fox, I would say. So like, I think Fox is almost like irrelevant in this case. Yoshi does. What? Oh, imagine if Yoshi actually beats. If Yoshi like straight up beats Falco and beats. I don't know if he does, but imagine if Yoshi actually beats Falco and Marth, like straight up winning the matchup, then I think in that case, even though it's a very small win, in that case, like, maybe Yoshi is better, because those are just such relevant matchups. It's like, it's kind of hard, because I feel like most top players' worst matchup is Yoshi, but all of those same players are going to be way, way better versus Peach. So the matchup experience is really good for Peach, but not as good for Yoshi for like every top player. You know, I think in the current meta, I would give it to Yoshi, but I think like if you give it more time, Peach could be better. It's like on a theoretical level, I feel like they're pretty even, but maybe I would give it to Yoshi. I don't know.